Hi and welcome back to Koala Skripin. I am Koala speaking. So unfortunately I can't do much about the lighting in this video because I'm not where I usually sit and I don't have a light to put onto my face. So I'm sorry about that. The next one will hopefully be better. So um today I'm gonna talk a little bit about the spring equinox. So I wanted to share how I celebrate the spring equinox, or I celebrated, because when you watch this, it's gonna be like 5 days since the spring equinox, and yeah. So, and please share in the comment section how you celebrated your spring equinox if you did, or if you have any ideas on how you would like to spend the next one. So, um, this year I did just like something basic because I wasn't feeling that well and I didn't have the option to be outside because of the weather conditions here in Sweden this past week. So when I record this, it's been 3 days since the spring equinox. And yeah, so this year I focused on my main purpose of the spring equinox, which is to plant some new seeds for the coming year. So when I celebrated something called the Disablut in February with a few friends, we made it's around the same time as Imbolg in the Wiccan tradition. So around the 1st, 2nd of February, we can celebrate the Disablut, which is something I'm not going to talk too much about in this video. But and I also celebrate the Eve of Saga around that time, which is Saga is the goddess of storytelling and also divination in the Nordic tradition. So during that time, because I have to just share this bit to set up the background for my spring equinox celebration. So when I celebrated Isablut, we made mind maps. I love mind maps. I love putting my thoughts into a visual representation in that way. And this time we made mind maps to focus on our long-term goals and aspirations and ambitions. So 2 to 5 years ahead. So it's simple. We put our name in the middle and then just brainstorm whatever we wish to uh, have accomplished or to do or enjoy or whatever life has to offer us and what we want to put into our life for the coming years. And the purpose of the come to do with the so uh, so big of of a time span was because of the astrological implications at that time. So I'm not going to talk too much about that, but so I had this mind map of what I wanted to accomplish in the 2 to 5 years ahead. So that was my basis for my spring equinox celebration this year when I planted my seeds. So I took out this mind map and I did add some things onto it. So remember, guys, that everything I do is inside and within a sacred space. So when we've celebrated Disablut, we opened a sacred space and made a mind map and other celebratory things within that sacred space. And with my spring equinox celebration, I opened the sacred space before I brought out my mind map and looked at it, and I went to a meditative state and saw these things before my third eye, with my inner eye, what I wanted to accomplish and what my goals were. And some of the goals that I have put into my mind map, I had already planted some seeds uh, for with the new moons that have passed, 2 new moons that have passed since the Disablut. And so now now I wanted to focus on what I could do in the more long term, like which of these is accomplishable within a year, or like what stage of things can I do within a year. So I took a few of my goals that I have like for 2 years ahead, say. And then I looked at, okay, but where do I want to be in a year? Where do I want to be this fall? Because spring equinox to me is I plant seeds for this year that I can do something with and fulfill during the summer, and then harvest the outcome of it during the fall and the winter to come. So that's like the time aspect I'm working with when I'm in my sacred space during my spring equinox. So I took out some of my aspirations, ambitions, and goals, and I looked at them through that lens, and I decided which ones I wanted to plant seeds for. And this year I didn't actually plant seeds. I used egg-shaped candles that I lit, and this process is to me, what I do is I focus on one at a time, and I visualize whatever I need, what the goal is and where I want to be, and I focus on the important aspect is I focus on where I want to be. So I don't focus on how I want to get there, because I don't want to focus on the struggle, or I don't want to focus on anything that's like part of the journey, so to say, because I wanna leave it up to the universe to help me get there, and I want to be open to the possibilities and to whatever comes at me, so that I can be where I want to be in a certain amount of time. So I I go into my meditative state and I focus on the goal and where I want to be, and I see that I feel like I'm living it as I'm sitting there in my meditative state, and then I blow this vision into the stick that I'm gonna light the candle with. So I light the candle with a stick, I let the stick burn out, and then I sit with it for a moment, I let it burn, and then I take out another stick and I focus on the next candle and the next goal, and until I have lit all the candles I want, planted all the seeds that I want to plant for this time, and that's how I do it. And I then let them burn for as long as I can. So as long as I have my sacred space open, for instance, I let the candles burn, and if they haven't burned all the way down when I close my sacred space, I thank the candles for this time, and I also take into account that uh, it's not going to be easy. So the interesting thing is that candles burn in different pace, even though I might have lit this one first and this one last. They burn in at a different pace. And I read into that, and what I read into that is maybe the struggle that's ahead of me to get where I want to be, and if I can, because there was one candle that just whoop, just burned down easily, fast, no big deal. Like it was the first candle to be burned down that day. The other candles took a couple of days to burn down. So, and I read into that as most of the work has already been done. So the universe is already working in my favor, and I have this to look forward to. And it might not come as the harvest might not come as the quicker than the other ones, but it's gonna be it's a confirmation that the universe is already working in my favor and in the favor of this goal, this aspiration that I have. So that candle burned down quite easily, quite fast, and then because they're all the same size, and then a few of the candles burned down the next day. And when I opened my sacred space in the morning from a morning ritual, I again did this when I visualized where I want to be, and I light the candle, and I did this with one at a time, and then I had my usual morning ritual, and when I had to leave home that morning, closed my sacred space and I thanked the candles for this time. And when I went to do that, all of the candles but one had burned down. So there was one candle left that needed an extra day to burn down, and it doesn't surprise me because that's the one aspiration that I hadn't really focused anything on beforehand. So all the other ones I had thought about a lot. I had some ideas around, and this last one was the newest one uh, on my vision board, my mind map. It was the one I hadn't really touched before, so it doesn't come to surprise to me, and that it will maybe take some more time or maybe some more challenges and work from my side to get where I want to be uh, in the time span that I have set up. So, but it did burn out. It didn't like fall over, or it didn't. There's so much that can happen. It's so important that you sit with these candles if you choose candles, and if you choose to put seeds in soil, you need to really nourish them, and you need to read into how they're growing, and if one or a few of your plants that you're growing, if they have some struggles, that's a representation of your ambition, your goal, and if one of them dies, maybe, or if my candle would have tipped over and wouldn't have burned down in a good way, maybe it would have just, you know, because a candle can, like, when a candle have like all the candle left, but there's like a hole in the side, and then just all of the wax or whatever just falls out, and then the candle just like stops burning, and maybe the little whatever you call it in English, that is actually burning, drowns in in the wax. So that can happen, and that has some kind of meaning. Most often, if that happens, I can reconsider the the magnitude of what I want to accomplish, and think about, can I maybe divide this into more accomplishable criterias? Um, can I maybe, do I have to like make it into steps? Maybe it was too big of a step. I wanted to accomplish too much in too short of a time, or was it too specific, or was it too wide? Do I have to rethink this and reformulate it, reword it in some way before I plant the seed again? Or maybe I have to wait for one of the other seeds to be in full bloom before I can plant this one. Is there some kind of cycle that I haven't really considered? So that is how I celebrated the spring equinox this year. There's so much I want to do during the spring equinox. I want to really celebrate the that the day and the night is equally long. I want to like, my dream scenario is to be out, to have like one celebration outside, one celebration indoors, with food and drumming and planting seeds, maybe for me and together with other people, like alone and together with other people. And the one thing I always do each year, that I did do this year, but I waited till the day after, was have a little ritual together with my house gnome, or whatever you call it in English. This little entity or spirit, the house spirit, that works together with you to keep your house safe and clean, and to help give nourishment to your plants and whatever. So I invite that little fella into a little ritual where I share food, and I again go into a meditative state, and I ask my house spirit if there's something the house needs that I have forgotten about, or if there's something that I can do or say or buy that would make or incorporate into the home that would make the home more healthy. Yeah. It can be something like specific, like, oh, this part of the home needs a renovation, or it can be something like the negative the energies that you have in this area of the home, you need to clear that. And it can be so much. And so that I did that the next day. So the first day I only did this with the candles, but because it took a long time. And then the next day I started with rekindle the candles, and then I invited my house spirit into a little ritual with food and meditation, and like I communed with him, him, her, it, they. um, so that's how I celebrate the spring equinox, and it looks different from year to year, but I do have like a center of the celebration, which is to plant seeds for the upcoming year, and then inviting my house spirit to a little ritual to just rekindle and reignite our relationship after the winter. So to like wake up the house and myself. So if I had a garden, I would definitely do this outside as well, together with my garden spirits and so forth. So please share in the comments below what you do or how you wish to celebrate the spring equinox. And it's not too late to celebrate spring. You don't have to celebrate spring equinox. You can celebrate the spring. You can just commune with your house spirit, with your garden spirits. You can commune with nature. You can have a celebration for the returning of the sun if you didn't do that during the winter solstice. So, with that said, walk in beauty and walk in beauty with the house spirits, with your own desires and aspirations and goals. Walk in beauty with yourself. And as I always end my videos, shingling.